everybody, and welcome back to the Blu Ray Hunter Reviews. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and we've got a fun show for you guys. We're going to be talking about Cobra, and this is the Arrow release that I just picked up for the first time, so I'm really excited about this. I'll go into all the special features after I review the movie. So let's talk about it. Basically, Cobra is a action movie done by Canon Films. If you remember Canon Films, they're like the legendary group that did what is it? They did they did a ton of movies. I'm trying to remember like one specifically, like American Ninja, I think they did, and I know they did Master of the Universe, they did Over the Top, they did a bunch of Chuck Norris movies. I mean, they were sort of the it production company that wasn't like a major studio like Paramount or whatever. They usually use like Warner Brothers, or Warner Brothers did this one to put out their films and everything. And just absolutely love this group. So, let's get right into it. So Cobra stars Sylvester Stallone as this cop who is basically he's the guy that you sort of call in when you need him, the most or whatever. And then there's also this like night slasher going around killing people, but it turns out to be even bigger than that, which was great. That was a big surprise. I had never seen it. So I had never seen it. I bought it because it's like a classic action flick, you know. A lot of movies sort of stole things, like even Stone Cold, which we reviewed. I saw that before I saw this. I thought I'd seen this movie, but I hadn't. But there was really cool scenes in it. Like the beginning of it was exactly Stone Cold exactly stole the beginning of this movie with the inside a grocery store and everything. Instead of Sylvester Stallone, I think it was Brian uh, Bos Boston, or whatever, somebody else. Oh my God, I am so fucking up to review already. But I didn't have my my notes exactly with me. But here we go. So in the movie, Sylvester Stallone is helping this woman. It so it's funny because this movie came out like I think 1986. 86. Was it? Yeah, the year after a movie that I'm also going to be reviewing in a little bit, Witness, came out. And also by Arrow. This is going to be an Arrow month, by the way. I'm watching all my Arrow movies and reviewing them that I've gotten that I haven't reviewed yet. That aren't probably going to be on Indie Film Cafe or was it or Film Freaks at any time. But anyway, so basically the similar story of like protecting a witness and then taking them out of town and whatnot. But this time it's like to a motel and everything like that. And then there's a big shootout at the motel that ends up being a big shootout somewhere else. Very similar story. It's weird. But basically in this movie, Sylvester Stallone finds a witness who actually I could ID this guy who went around murdering people. So he found out who she was, and lo and behold, he's working with cops, like a cop, and the cop is helping them, track down where these people are and what's going on, and it's crazy because there's a lot of similarities. I just never even thought about that until I finished watching Witness. That I've seen before, but it's been a long time, so it's almost like watching it brand new. But we'll get into that again later. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is they're in a car and he spins the car around so that he can start shooting and he's driving backwards and everything. Don't do this at home, kids. Like that's not a good idea. But it was awesome. It was awesome to see. I've never seen anything that crazy before in my life, so I really had a fun time checking that out. I mean, it was for an action 80s action movie, it was top notch. There was so many cool scenes and so many explosions and it felt pure 80s. Little one-liners here and there. Of course, Sylvester Stallone has to say a one-liner. Um, the guy and the girl sort of fall, sort of have the witness and him sort of have a little thing, and they kind of end it on a happy note, as opposed to what we're about to talk about next week, which also sort of ends on a happy note. But corrupt cops, and there seems to be in the 80s that seemed to be a lot of what they did. And the difference was like this movie, which I think is a good movie, it's very good. But it's not excellent. Um I don't know. There's just some things in it I was just like, eh. Like it feels like it's been done sometimes, and maybe it's because I've seen so many movies that rip this movie off, or whatever. But like, I mean, look at that. That's pretty freaking cool. I mean, it's a fun flick. I mean, this is honestly something I could see myself watching over and over again. Um, I used to, when I was a kid, I used to watch like action flicks over and over again. Terminator 2 and, other Rocky movies and things like that with Sylvester Stallone. So like, I just don't get the chance to do that as much like I used to as a kid. Like as a kid, it was just like, I like Princess Bride. Let me watch it 20,000 times. As an adult, I'm like, I like Princess Bride. I can watch it maybe once a year because I've got like a million other movies to watch. And that would be just for fun, not for review. And that's the thing. Now I'm like reviewing movies and watching them, and it's just, I just don't have time. So if I'm able to, I will. But I really enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. The characters were kind of stereotypical cop characters, and the witness was what's her name? Bridget Nielsen, who later I found out was married to Sylvester Stallone. I think before this movie, so he might have been like, "Hey, can we get Bridget in here? We have great chemistry." Guys, he did. So regardless of what you may think of Sylvester Stallone now, I mean, there's a lot of anger toward him. I still can look back at this movie and look at this movie, because not look back, but look at this movie and say, wow, like this was him at his peak of his, like, not peak. Peak would be that he didn't do, because later he did Cliffhanger, and he did in the 90s he did, he's still doing good shit like, Tulsa King and stuff. So he never really had I guess, a peak of his career. But like, this was when he was sort of, everybody was calling for Sylvester Stallone. He was getting offers for everything and stuff. And that was because of Rambo. This became like a new Rambo. He was like shooting things up, and everybody had a blast watching it. It seemed like that kind of thing. Like this is a movie you could watch with your friends and be like, "Oh my God, look how crazy that is." And the best part is the well, they don't even say his name. The the main bad guy in it. I'll say it in the because they got a great. I'm not gonna lie, but they have some amazing um uh freaking like Art LaFleur was in it. Brian Thompson was the bad guy, and he was incredible. And I watched an interview with him where he was talking about on this, and I'll talk about it in a second. But he was talking about how he was in Terminator, and he thought that movie was gonna suck. He thought it was just gonna be bad because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger's first role, or whatever, where he was really taken seriously. And he was like, Schwartz, the people came up to him and said, "Oh my God, Terminator was great. We loved you in it." And he was like, "Terminator with Schwarzenegger?" So you watched it and he was like, "Oh my God, this is a movie like I want to put on my resume." Like I think before he didn't well, he didn't care. He wasn't going to put it on his resume. But now like he can be he was one of the punks with Bill Paxton, some other guy. But Bill Paxton was just hilarious to see him in that role. And in this movie, he was the lead bad guy. Like he had some good stuff. They had a great fight scene at the toward the end and everything. And he was just awesome, and everybody was awesome. Like this movie was full of just nothing but awesomeness. So if you haven't seen Cobra, it is out on 4K on Arrow. I highly recommend it. I bought it from the 4K sale. The 4K sale is over now, I believe, or will be over soon. And if you can still grab it, great. If you can grab it for, I mean, I'd even recommend it for full price. It is well worth it. So let me go through the stuff. I'm going to go through the special features, not the not all the stuff you come with it, but brand new audio commentary by film critics Kim Newman and Nick D. Simlian. Brand new audio commentary by film scholars Josh Nelson and Martin Pedler. Archive audio commentary by director George P. Cosmatos. TV version of the film featuring deleted and alternate scenes presented for the first time on a home video. Standard definition only, though. It's not high definition. Slashing the Night Away, a new interview with composer Sylvester Levay. Dark Glasses, Violence, and Robots, a new visual essay by film critic Abby Bender on Cobra and 80s maximalist cinema. White Line Nightmare, a new visual essay by film critic Martin Contario on Cobra and the Maverick Cop genre. Stalking and Slashing, an archive interview with actor Brian Thompson. That's the one I watched. It was pretty good. Um, Meet the Disease, an archive interview with actor Marco Rodriguez. Feel the Heat, an archive interview with actor Andrew Robinson. Double Cross, an archive interview with actor Lee Garlington. A work of art, an archive interview with actor Art LaFleur. A work of art, nice. The Making of Cobra, 1986 featurette and teaser trailers, theatrical trailer, TV spots, and a reversible sleeve. So I'll show this off. So you get either one. So you can do that, or you can make it look like this. So that's pretty awesome. You also get a little nice little poster. You want the poster, and I think what is this? Oh yeah, a little book about um Cobra. So it is awesome. It's a lot of fun. I totally recommend this movie. It is one of those films that, I mean, it's just people know this as like the 80s action flick. So something totally worth buying, I say. If you haven't got a chance to see it or something, I highly recommend it. I don't know if it's available on like Tubi or HBO Max or anything like that. That's where I would think it would go if it were anything because it's Warner Brothers. But yeah, so I totally recommend that. Also recommend there's a couple documentaries on Canon, and the one I watched, which was like Electric Boogaloo, you definitely should check that out. It goes into the best stuff about Canon. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little chat, and join me next week for I'm gonna be doing Witness. So until then, everybody, have a good one. Bye.